The show, Kathy Barnette. How are you, Miss Barnette?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you so much for showing my commercial. Thank you.
It's great. I love everything you're saying in there. It is a shame, isn't it, towards the beginning of that video where you talk about how the Black Lives Movement and what has happened in this country with Black Lives Matter, but not when they're cops. I'll add that in there to your commercial, and not when they're a conservative. And to me, that is so sad that we are at that state in identity politics where the left has used a movement. I'm not going to talk about the organization, I think the BLM's corrupt, but the movement, how they've used the movement to divide this nation even more over the color of our skin.
Yeah. And the reality of it is very real. They are using the color of my skin to fundamentally change this nation. And they have no intentions of actually arguing real issues. If you remember, I think now maybe about 2 weeks ago, the Senate had a hearing on whether or not to remove the filibuster so that they could pass the George Floyd Policing Act. And they entitled that hearing Jim Crow 2.0. What does Jim Crow 2.0 have anything to do with whether or not to get rid of the filibuster? What does Jim Crow 2.0 have to do with election integrity or whether or not people should have a valid voter ID? It has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
What Democrats are recognizing is that it's an effective strategy for them because our culture has been in many regards trained to think on the lowest common denominator. And they get very emotional when you begin to mention certain buzzwords. It is not because these Democrats care about Black people. Or about the fact that they were the party of slavery, they were the party of Jim Crow laws, and now they're the party of oppression to a whole lot of people that they claim to really love.
Yeah, all they care about is power and control and money, and everything today, as I'm sure you're noticing, Kathy, is racist. Putting kids back in school in certain cities is racist. If we want them back in the classroom, getting rid of the filibuster is racist. Everything's racist. You and I know the truth. You're my sister, I'm your brother. I don't care what color your skin is. Let's talk about your candidacy and that seat that was held there by Pat Toomey. Not a big fan of President Trump after what happened on January 6th. Talk to me about this seat and why you're running there and any competition, if you think they're competition.
No, I don't think they're really competition. But, but you do have, on our side of the political aisle, it's a reality that on our side, the very first question we tend to ask someone when they say they want to run for office is, well, how much money can you raise? Mm-hmm. They don't ask you if you believe in the Republican values or what are your values, your conservative principles. The first question we tend to ask on our side of the political aisle is whether or not someone can raise money. And so I'm not going to be able to reinvent that wheel. It is the world in which we're inheriting. I do intend to change it because there are some principles that are so incredibly important. Our country is being unraveled at the seams right now. And we need people who will go into office, who will bring a backbone to Congress, but then who will also not stick their finger in the air, try to figure out which way the wind is blowing. But I walk into office with a certain set of values. And one of the first value is something that you've been saying a lot, and that is about America first. Why is that such an egregious phrase to say to so many people?
Oh, you're a racist.
Their country first. Well, you know what? That's a very powerful
That's what they say.
Against you, but not me necessarily, right? And so our party needs to make room for different faces and different voices who can come in and speak our American story. My journey only takes place here in America, from that pig farm, living under the economic ladder, and yet being able to carve out a respectable life for myself. That is what so many people come to this nation for every single year. That is my journey, and I want to preserve this country. It's the greatest country that has ever existed. America is not perfect, but there is no one running a close second. And I am asking your followers, your watchers, to go to barnetteforsenate.com and donate. I cannot do this by myself, but this country is worth it. We need to begin to put up our own people. If you're tired of the GOP and others kind of anointing those who they believe it's their turn to run.
Yeah. Kathy Barnette, U.S. Senate candidate for Pennsylvania. Wow. Lot of great ideas. So well spoken. Love that you're on the America First agenda. And the book, Nothing to Lose, Everything to Gain, Being Black and Conservative in America. A great read for anyone, no matter what race. Read the book, learn something, open your mind. Kathy, best of luck to you. I'm sure I'll see you again on the program before the election. Take care.
Thank you, sir.